Hey Course 3 Math students, Mr. Rising here. And in this lecture, I want to help you with your data analysis performance assessment, and specifically focusing on how to use a spreadsheet or Google Sheets to enter the data to make a scatter plot and then to do some analysis and equation or function building. So the instructions are going to be posted on Canvas. I also have them in the document here. It says create a Google spreadsheet and share it with me. Enter your data from part 1. So you've already done this on paper. Now you're going to use a real tool that we use in the math world and the business world. Make a scatter plot. Find the slope, the y-intercept, the correlation coefficient, known as R, and the R squared, how well the line actually fits the data. And then you're going to create an equation again, compare your estimated equation with the one you calculated, and use the calculated equation, predict the value that was not included in your collection. All right, let's just walk through it step by step. Step number 1. I'm over here in my Google Drive, and in my Course 3 Math folder, you can see this is my Course 3 folder, I'm going to create a new sheet. All right, create it. First thing I want to do is name it. And I'm going to name it in such a way that it makes sense. So I'm going to be looking at my horseradish growth. And I can also 2020. And of course, my name is Mr. Rising. So it just jumps out right away. I know who it is. I can enter. Now I'm going to come over here and, of course, share it. And I'm going to type in George. Right? And George.Skraba. Yep, that's me, and I can edit it. I'll send myself an invitation, even though that's who I am. Okay, coming back over here, because I want you to see exactly what I see. All right, so my data, let's see, I had the day, and I had the height, and I did my recording for 10 days. So day 0, day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just do it 6 days or 7 days. That's fine. And then the height. Originally it was 1 centimeter, and then it was 1.25, and then there was a really sunny day, and it grew to 1.75, and then it jumped to 2.25. I don't know, 2.5, 2.75, and then it finally went up to 3.25 centimeters. So it's this tiny little shoot coming up, but it's growing and growing, and I'm really excited, and I want to measure it. So now I've got my data. I'm going to highlight my data, and I'm going to go to Insert, and I'm going to do a chart. And the specific chart that I'm trying to do is called a scatter plot. And like it wants to give me a nice line graph here. See if I can pull my chart editor over. I don't know if I can do that right now. See if it'll let me grab it over here. Here we go. The chart editor comes up. And I want, you can see it selected all my data, which is what I want. And I want the scatter plot. I'm going to scroll down here. Hey, there's my scatter plot. Ta-da! And data range looks good. Height. I need to get my picture out of the way. Get out of the way, picture. Series is the height, because the height is the dependent variable. It depends on the number of days. Sweet. Very good. Let's just click on Customize here for a moment, because this is where you're going to find other information like chart title. Right? So you can give it names. Type I don't know why it's not letting me. Oh, title. Height. There it is. Title. Horseradish. Height versus days. Right? Awesome. So that'll give you, see, and it actually shows up on the other screen. Let's see what else I want to put in. Horizontal axis, or my number of days. Good, that's true. Days. I'm going to call it days. Days. Or day, that's fine. Vertical axis is the height. And height in centimeters. Awesome. Now, all that looks really good. Let's see. Series, legend. Okay, that all looks fine. Grid lines. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, it's under series. If I scroll down here, right here, it says trend line, and that is the regression line that I want to use. So it is built in. All these spreadsheets, Excel, Google Sheets, it all has this feature built in. And again, what I did was I went to Customize, and then I went to Series, and I scrolled down a little ways, and I found trend line listed right there. I'm going to move my screen back over here to so you can kind of see, ta-da! All right, get my picture out of the way. Whoa, Mr. Rising. Get out of the way. Okay, very good. So now let me just flip back here and look at my instructions, see how I'm doing. I have a Google Sheet, I've entered my data, I've made a scatter plot. Now I'm going to find the slope, the y-intercept, the correlation coefficient, and all these things. All right, let's do it. So I'm going to write right here, I'm just going to put labels. Slope, y-intercept, and these are just labels, r and r squared. Now, your formula writing is going to be a little different, and just as a reminder, your formula bar is right in here. Once you do the first calculation, you'll notice it's the same cell values each time. So for example, if I want to find the slope of this data, I'm going to type in equals, and I'm going to start typing the word slope, S-L-O-P, and slope of a line from a linear regression. I can click on that if I want to take a shortcut. Be very careful. It wants the y values first, then a comma, and then the x values. Okay, my y values are the height, right? They're the dependent values, so I highlight, in my case, B2 to B8, and then I hit comma, and then my x values are A2 through A8. Remember to close your parentheses, hit enter. I just found the slope. The same thing is true with intercept. That's right, I said the word intercept. And if I just start typing it in, it gives me my options. I can scroll down. I'm going to hit tab key. Same thing, give me the y values. In my case, now your data may look different. You may have more values, you may have fewer values, but you're trying to get 6 to 10 values. So here's my y values, comma, my x values. Close parentheses, enter. All right? Next, R. R is the correlation coefficient. So type in Correl. Oh, it's really called the Pearson product moment correlation coefficient. I like R, or correlation coefficient better. When I did that, again, same thing, y and x. You see a pattern here? Because I'm analyzing the same data. I'm basically getting the same thing from the data. Make sure you close your parentheses. And last but not least, if I want to square R, I can type in a little formula. Equals that value, which is in my case cell D3, times itself. Or if you don't like that, I can do shift 6, which is the caret key, 2, square it, multiply it by itself. Enter. I now have my data values. Now if I want to build an equation, I can do that, right? My equation is, y equals, and then the slope is 0.375 x, and then the y-intercept is plus 0.98. I just built an equation. And if I need to make a prediction that's not in my data values, I'm going to predict day 12. Let's see, predict day 12. What I could do is I could plug this into my calculator. I could type in 12 times 0.375 plus 0.98. Excuse me. Or I could use the calculator function built into Excel. And basically just use these formulas. 0.375 times 12 plus 0.98. And that says 12 days after I first noticed this plant, on day 12, I would have noticed it should be about 5.48 centimeters tall. Quick look back. Did I answer all my questions? Compare your estimated equation to the one I calculated. Well, I'd have to go look at my piece of paper and say, oh, I figured it was this, and I compared it to that. But it looks like I did all my things. Last thing I need to do is go to Canvas. When you submit the file, go to the Drive tab under the Submit, and your Google account is linked. And that way I can just look at it right away. It'll open right up. I hope this was really helpful. If you need to see this again, please pause it. If you have questions, email me. We can pull this up together. And yeah, have a good time with it.